My name is Colin Austin. I am the founder of the GBiota Club and the Food for Health project. My aim is to enable people to access food at a price they can afford that will make them healthy. We simply need to develop an alternative food system. I want to show you my garden and how I grow food, which could be the basis for this alternative system. Let's first talk about why we eat food. There are 3 reasons. We need some food for energy. This is really very simple. Energy food contains carbon, which burns to form carbon dioxide, and hydrogen, which burns to form water, and in the process releases energy, which powers our body. The foods are very simple and well understood, and the food industry scores an A+ in providing us with large volumes of energy food at a low price. We also need to replace our body parts as they wear or age. We may think we are the same person we were a year ago, but we are not. Our body parts are continuously being replaced. Some parts, like our skin, get a lot of wear, so it is continuously being replaced. It may look the same, but it is new skin. The cells in our vital organs, our heart, lungs, liver, pancreas, etc., are dying and being replaced all the time. We have a new liver and a heart every few months. It may be an almost perfect replica of the old heart, but it is made from new cells. All these cells come from our food. This is a much more complex process than simple energy. We may need different minerals: magnesium, chromium, selenium, iodine. It's a very long list, and some we only need in very small amounts. For example, chromium is essential for removing sugar from our blood, but is dangerous in higher amounts. The third benefit of food is the development of our gut biology and its additional brain. Our food is not just to feed us, but to feed our gut biology. If we eat food which supports our gut biology, it will make us healthy. If we eat food which damages our gut biology, our health will deteriorate. Damage to our gut biota is the root cause of the current health epidemic. Our gut biology does more than help us to digest food. The trillions of cells in our guts communicate with each other, just like in a computer. It has real intelligence. It works with our normal brain to create an intelligent control system which manages how our bodies work. The intelligent control system determines what foods we want to eat and how much. But enough theory, let's get into the garden and see how to grow food which will make us healthy. I want to grow food which will regenerate our bodies and help grow a healthy and intelligent gut biology. That's why I call this project the GBiota project, as it's all about our gut biota. It is clear from multiple scientific studies that people living a traditional lifestyle and eating food grown the traditional way have a far stronger gut biology than those eating the conventional Western diet. The chronic diseases, which have risen to an epidemic scale, are virtually unheard of. We simply cannot go back to living the way traditional people lived, but we can study what made them healthy and try and incorporate our learning into a modern system. I've been researching this for many years and have developed what I call modernised traditional agriculture. It contrasts dramatically with conventional modern chemical industrial agriculture, in which toxic chemicals kill off the biology and exhaust the soil of life, biology and minerals. The level of trace minerals has dropped by 30 times over the last few years. So one of the problems we face is how to raise the level of trace minerals back to traditional levels. There is an abundance of minerals in volcanic rock dust. There is mountains of the stuff, but it is insoluble, so we have to grow microbes to dissolve the rock dust and make it available to the plants. To manage microbiology, we have to understand how ecosystems work. We should try and create an ecosystem where the beneficial microbes will outcompete the harmful ones. So to break down the rock dust, all we have to do is create the right conditions inside a compost bin. So let me grab my mobile phone and take a wander around my experimental blocks. The first thing I want to show is a simple bag of volcanic rock dust. This contains all the essential trace minerals we need to regenerate our bodies, and there are literally mountains of the stuff all over the world. Sounds good? Well, by itself it is totally useless. It is insoluble, so neither our bodies nor the plants I grow can digest it as it is. We need our friends, the microbiology, to break it down and convert it to the more complex, soluble chemicals that plants and our bodies can absorb. I create a special mix which includes the rock dust to make a nutrient-rich, biologically active compost tea. I then flush this compost tea through the root zone of my plants, again on a flood and drain cycle. This is doing more than releasing nutrients, it is generating more biology which will enter the plants and then us to reinforce our gut biology. Okay, I'm on my block. Now the operation really starts with the compost. Now I don't use raw compost, I let it reach a fair level of maturity and then I bring it round and put it into the compost bin. Now this compost bin is going to be flooded with water which will drain back into the sump here. From the sump it is picked up and then it is pumped to the top of the block and it flows down to the block and then back into the sump. Now I'm just going to pop inside and put the pump on. Now obviously normally the pump is totally automatic, but I'm just going to do this the manual way, so I'm just switching it on and then we'll go outside. Now we see the water draining through the compost. At the same time water is going to the top of the block and then it is running underneath the ground through various pipes, and we can see the water level rising here. So now we're flooding all the ground, so we're getting nutrients right into the root zone, but in fact there's no water touching the plants at all. It's a totally subsurface irrigation system, and all this water just returns back to the sump. And I run the pump, in actual fact I'm running this pump for about 3 minutes and then it would automatically turn off. Obviously I've got to do it manually now. But there are more issues. What plants to grow and how to avoid using toxic chemicals which will damage our gut biology. I live in Bundaberg, Queensland, which has far more than its fair share of insects which are determined to eat my crops and weeds which want to outcompete them. So I grow baby greens, which means I let them grow to a certain stage, then just keep on trimming them back, harvesting the tips of the plant like they do in a tea plantation. This is a classic flood and drain type system. You can see here the water is now draining out of the ground, it's going back into the sump. So as it drains back, it's sucking air back into the soil, and of course air is very important in the soil to keep the root zone healthy. I really don't want to use toxic chemicals, but I do want to grow highly beneficial plants like the cabbage family, which are very prone to insect attack. I plant a variety of plants at a high density. I use a variety of plants, some I select because they confuse the insects or because of their reputed health benefits. I grow plants high in omega-3, which is known to help the heart, and others which are effective sugar blockers and reduce the dangerous sugar spikes. I use high density planting to crowd out the weeds. I can do this because I am flushing the high nutrient mix through the root zone every few hours. I use the cut and come again method, where I only trim the new growth. I use my vegetables as sugar blockers and other foods to avoid spikes. But the question is, how can everyone benefit from these growing techniques? Obviously, many people can do what I grew, grow them in their garden. But this would not make much of a dent in the health epidemic. We need to get commercial growers to adopt these methods. But they are not going to adopt this on the chance that there's going to be some customers out there who happen to be waiting. So what we have to do is to form local groups who want to enjoy better health from food to work with local growers. This can be a real or internet group formed on social media. I formed Food for Health Bundaberg for my area. I find that diabetes educators are very willing to help form these groups, and also health professionals caring for childbearing couples can be helpful. It is most important that during pregnancy and while breastfeeding that ladies are eating healthy food. Someone in the group needs to act as a coordinator to go out and talk to the local growers so they understand that in exchange for adopting biological growing systems, as detailed on my web, they'll receive a steady supply of orders. The coordinator can also organise transport, for example by having a local van service to go out and collect the food from the farms and deliver either to a food hub or to individual homes. This way food can be harvested in the morning and be on the plate at night. If you worry about the cost, let me tell you that in the normal food system the farmer typically receives less than 20% of the retail price. Although the on-farm labour costs may be a bit higher, the inputs of rock dust, compost and animal manure are essentially waste products that are being effectively recycled so that the overall cost can be lower. It is intrinsically a more efficient system with a lot less waste. In the conventional system, 40% of the food grown is wasted, and whatever they say, there's a long delay from harvesting to eating, with food ripening in transport and storage. In this system, the time from harvest to eating is just hours. It is far better to pay money to the local grower than the profits of the mega corporations. Recycling with biological farming means that there will be food for our grandchildren's kids. If this strikes a chord, please email me at colinaustin@bigpond.com.